All right, y'all, we are here on Underdog. You can see my Underdog screen. We're doing a college football draft right now. This is a new feature from Underdog. It is awesome. I've done a few of these drafts before. This is the Tailgate. It's a $3 draft. When you go into the Underdog lobby, you go to drafts. It's right there featured. If you don't see it there, just go right here to this tab. And there you go. We got a transfer portal option that's 25. That's new today. Tailgate, $3 entry. Can enter 20 times max, 10K to first. Look at how much more room we have left. There's still plenty of spots available in this one. So we're active on this one now. So we are going to go in. Draft starts in 20 seconds. I am the number 4 pick. And would you look at that? I am a Mizzou graduate, and Luther Burden III is right there for me. So if he falls, I'm probably going to take him with pick 4. I'm just going to let you know right now. Sorry, Alabama fans. Jalen Milrose right there, I know. But I like my guy, Luther Burden. We'll see how this draft plays out. Now, this is a super flex. So that means that you can have 2 quarterbacks in your scoring every week. And frankly, you want that. You want to get 2 quarterbacks in there as much as possible. So just keep that in mind. Quarterback values are a little skewed in this, just based on the way the draft works and the way that the superflex is. So if you have done drafts on Underdog for the NFL, where you've just done a normal draft, that's not superflex. So the quarterback values are just a little different. Shadur Sanders coming off the board at number 2 did not have that. That's not a great pick by Lala there. The board's going to have some value on it already. I can tell just based on that pick. That was not a good pick. Once again, you don't want to stretch for a quarterback like that, especially when the Heisman favorite and Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart are all right there. So now, I was going to take Luther Burden, but Dylan Gabriel, he's right there. Oregon guy. Great value at number 4 here. So I'm going to take him. I'm going to put my Mizzou fandom aside and make the correct pick there. Hopefully Gabriel shows up for me. Now, if you want to get in on these drafts, use promo code SOUTH. We'll show it on the screen here. And you can get a first-time deposit match up to $250 and a special pick, because they have picks too. Pick them. You can go here. They have specials all the time. You just make your higher or lower picks. Here's a picks contest that I have live right now for baseball. We got 6 pitching outs from Bryce Miller. Hopefully he keeps going strong. And then we got some stuff on the Dodgers Brewers game. But let's get back to the draft. This is about college football after all. So since I picked 4th, I now have to wait until pick 9 of the second round, 21 overall, to get my next player. So let's look at the ADP. 21 would be Kyron Drones. I wouldn't hate it if Jordan James fell, specifically because I have Dylan Gabriel now. Evan Stewart, if he falls, I'll probably snag him. So it's all about, you want to get at least one pass catcher with your quarterbacks, because that's called stacking. It's a very it's a strategy that you frankly need to have in best ball drafts. You also want to have a lot of wide receivers. Wide receivers can play the flex. You start 2 of them in your lineup every week. I think that wide receivers and quarterbacks are going to be the most important in a draft like this. So if you're doing a super flex college football draft, just keep that in mind. The smart players in your draft will also be putting a premium on quarterbacks and wide receivers. See, we've had a run. The guy after me took Jalen Milroe. We've had Green come off, Dart come off, Johnson come off. So, there's a lot of... Nico's probably going to go here in the next pick or 2. Yep, there he goes. So this is a fast draft right now, but that's not a bad thing. So we're going to look at my pick. Hopefully Jordan James is there. If not, maybe I'll take Egbuka, because I'm also buying the Ohio State offense. My thoughts are, from the big schools, pick winning players from teams that are going to compete for the 12-team playoff. I don't think that should be too controversial. But you don't want. Yes, some of these players from bad teams might put up good non-conference numbers, but once they get into conference play, those numbers are going to dip, and that's when the money is going to be won. Down the stretch, you want players who are going to be in position to compete, and that's what I'm going for. So I'm targeting guys on good teams. I'm not really looking into a Boston College quarterback because I think he's going to struggle when it gets to when it gets down to the stretch run in the ACC. So I'm up in 11 picks still. Not quite. 4 picks. I'm looking at my other draft here. That's an NFL draft. All right. So we still got both Oregon pass catchers on the board. I hope that at least one of them remains so. Nope, there goes Johnson. There's a good chance I'll at least get Jordan James to pair with Dylan Gabriel, though. Just again, keep in mind Underdog is a half point per reception. Some of your fantasy leagues are probably full PPR, which means that every time a player, running back or wide receiver, makes a catch, it's 1 point. Oh, great! Evan Stewart fell to me, so he's going to be a top pass catcher for Dylan Gabriel. So I'm going to go ahead and pair those guys together. Now I'm already on my way to a great stack, and I've put my first 2 picks to good use here with a team that's going to compete not only for the Big Ten title, but definitely a spot in the playoff and, maybe even a top 4 seed. So I'm happy with the way that has gone so far. I'm 4 picks away again. Trey Harris is a guy that I'm looking at there. I think that Ole Miss offense is going to be really good. Let's see. Quinshon Judkins could be a good pick out of Ohio State. Maybe Egbuka falls to me. I don't know. We'll find out. Stanford, I like this guy, but he again, down the stretch in the ACC, is the Clemson defense going to stop him? Florida State, I don't know what the Stanford schedule is off the top of my head, but just something to be concerned about. I like my guy Brady Cook here, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and star him, not for this pick, but maybe he'll fall to me for the next pick. I also like Garrett Nussmeier and Kyron Lacey. That's a stack I could target for a few picks from now, so we'll see. There goes Egbuka right before my pick. Great. I really like Trey Harris. Do I want Restrepo? Judkins? I'm going to take Trey Harris. I just think that he's a really good wide receiver, and I think that Ole Miss offense is going to be really good. So now since I had those quick back-to-back picks, I've got a while to wait. 15 picks away from this one. Let's see what my next ADP is 45. So where am I at there? Brady Cook might be there. Maybe I should do my Nussmeier Lacey stack next time around. If I have to end up getting a running back, I like these guys. I also think that Noah Fafita is going way too low. If you can get him around his ADP, I think that's going to be a huge benefit. So just keep that in mind. So you can see the draft board here. So this tailgate contest is 10,000 to first. We can go back to the lobby though, and I'll show you. You can do a 4-hour draft per pick. I'm doing a 30 seconds per pick, obviously. So that's not the info that I was looking for. Okay, we'll go back to the active. We're flying through this draft. This is going pretty quick. So in the Superflex leagues, there's 20 rounds. If you're not doing a Superflex draft, there's only 18. They're only doing, so far, Superflex drafts for college football. Again, this is their first foray into college football drafts, and we here at Saturday Football are excited for that. Obviously, we're a college football first entity, so yeah, we're pleased with the way that Underdog continues to innovate in this space. And again, if you want to sign up today, promo code SOUTH will get you $250 first-time deposit match and a special pick. All we're 6 picks away here. Let's see what the draft board's been doing. Oh, there goes Brady Cook, so not going to have him. I might try to get the Garrett Nussmeier, Kyron Lacey stack. Because I'm also a believer in LSU this year. I think that they're going to, at least offensively, put up plenty of numbers. I know they lost Malik Neighbors. That's a big loss, obviously. They lost Jaden Daniels, but I'm a big Nussmeier fan, and I think Kyron Lacey's ready to step up. So there's also a couple LSU wide receivers that you can get a little bit later in the draft, and that's something that I've been enjoying doing. So hopefully later we'll have a chance to do that too. Hopefully I can get this LSU stack first, though. First things first. And then if I do that with my next 2 picks, then it's probably time to target some running backs. But again, first things first. All right, don't take an LSU guy. Plenty of guys out there for you. Grayson J. Don't steal my guy. All right, he took Trevor Etienne. So we're going with Nussmeier. And now we just hope that 6 picks later we'll be able to grab Kyron Lacey. Okay, so far so good. 4 picks away. Don't do it, Trigger Trey. Some people draft really fast. Some people take their full 30 seconds each time. Sometimes they're on auto draft. You just got to work your way through that. So he took Cam Ward, so he might just be on auto draft, and we're just going to have to wait the 30 seconds each time he's up. So we shall see. Oh, there goes Lacey. Come on, Trigga. Trigga Trey just stole Lacey from me. So now I have to adjust. What am I going to do? I'm going to take Travion Henderson. I think that that's a good backup plan. Gets me my first running back. Do I want anybody else? No, I'm going to take Henderson. Again, just buying into the top offenses. I know he's going to share the workload with Quinshon Judkins. So we'll see how that goes. I've been waiting a little bit to draft tight ends. Brant Queeth, I don't know how to say his last name. The Utah guy, he's really good, but he's coming off some injuries. So I've been waiting a little bit longer on that into like maybe the Luke Lachey round. I think that anytime you can get a Iowa tight end, you have to do it. I mean, they have Sam Laporta, George Kittle, Noah Fant. Like, all the guys seem to have gone to Iowa. We're 13 picks away, and that puts us at pick 69. So who's at 69 here? Nick Singleton, Penn State. I could get behind drafting him. I think Miller Moss is a good quarterback to draft. I just think he's going to put up some numbers against bad teams. Dylan Sampson is a sleeper here. I think I'm going to try to get him with one of my next 2 picks. We'll just see how the draft board plays out. But Dylan Sampson, I think, is way too low for his what I think his role is going to be there on Rocky Top. These drafts normally take 45 minutes to an hour, so you're going to want to set aside that amount of time at least. Sometimes they go a little longer, sometimes they're a little shorter if you have people flying through picks like we are right now. So just make sure you block out at least an hour though. You don't really want to be distracted. That's when you make mistakes. If Fafita falls, I'm going to take him, even though I already have 2 quarterbacks. But it's all about how the board plays out. Don't get married to any one particular strategy or any particular players. Like we saw earlier, like I was all set on taking Luther Burden, and then Dylan Gabriel fell into my lap. So so stuff like that will happen, and you just have to be willing to adjust on the fly and just make sure that you are flexible and not set in your ways here. So this guy already has 4 quarterbacks. Like that's not advisable. I'll go ahead and say that at this point. So now he's got 4 quarterbacks, a wide receiver, and a running back. So that's not a good build so far. Alex Sterling here is also a little quarterback heavy so far. This guy, or Talia, I don't know if that's a guy or a girl, but they are a little bit quarterback needy. So they need to take Beck or Fafita here. I mean, that's who I would take. They're right at the top of the board. You can sort the board by position. You can even do multiple positions if you want. Any sort of combination there. Just play around, find your strategy. I like to keep every position up, even if I don't want to draft a quarterback this round. I just like to see who's on the board, because if there's an insane ADP value, sometimes you just have to abandon your strategy and jump on it. Like I don't want to have to draft Noah Fafita here, but if nobody else does at pick 69 with his ADP there, like it's just a good value pick. I think Steve's going to take him here, though. We'll see. Yep, there he goes. So I'm looking at Singleton. I'm going to take Dylan Sampson. I just love Dylan Sampson this year. Okay, so next I would like maybe Marcus Carroll as a running back. I'm on target. I got to get a Mizzou guy on there. I'm a Mizzou graduate, so it is nice to root for some of your guys sometimes. But Trey here might steal my thunder again. We'll see. Gotta wait for Lala. You can see your live projections here and a list of all the players you've drafted so far. Now, don't pay too much attention to the projected. It goes up so much when you pick quarterbacks. So the person who has 4 quarterbacks already, their projection is probably through the roof. But, it's not a good roster build. So don't worry about the projections until the very end. So Trey is going with an LSU stack, even though he didn't get Nussmeier. So credit to... Oh, no. Lala just took Carroll. All right, well... Should I go with the Virginia Tech guy or the Penn State guy? I don't know. We'll see. Well, I guess that makes the decision a little easier, and that will happen sometimes. So I'm going with the Virginia... Or should I take... I'm going to take the Louisville receiver. I didn't get one Lacey earlier. Now I'm going to get another Lacey. So in the rankings tab, you can see, you can go through and see all the ADP values and all sorts of stuff. It's all good. You can see where players are being drafted in the NFL, MLB contests. Just a great tool to have. And you can sort by slate here. So NFL, you can have all these different slates that you can see how it sort of changes. So just something to keep in mind. Go back to the drafts though. 13 picks away, so we're cruising. Now when it comes to like the smaller programs, so what we have here is we're just doing, these are the Power 4, plus Washington State and Ohio State. So, or not Ohio State, Oregon State. So people forget SMU is in the ACC now. So yeah, just keep in mind you're not going to get the group of 5 talents in there. Some of those guys put up really awesome numbers, but yeah, we're not getting those guys in these best ball drafts. So we are 7 picks away. I wouldn't mind getting Preston Stone. Wouldn't mind getting Grayson McCall. I'm a little worried about Rising and his injury history. I think that the Washington State quarterback is a good value pick, just based on, uh, they're not playing as great of a schedule as some others. But I might try to take the Louisville quarterback since I grabbed the top wide receiver earlier. That's probably my play. I might look to like Jeremiah Smith, a talented wide receiver, if I have to. Maybe Luke Lachey, a tight end from Iowa. Hopefully, what I want to try to do here is get Tyler from Louisville and then grab my first tight end. I think that would be a good way to spin these back-to-back picks. But we'll just see. Again, we'll have to see how the board plays out. Smart pick by Steve to get a set. There goes the tight end. Okay, well, I got my quarterback at least. And now I'm probably, since I have 3 quarterbacks through 8 rounds, I'm probably done drafting quarterbacks for a little bit. So, again, unless an insane value falls into my lap, I'm probably done with quarterbacks for a bit. Should I go? I like Jarquez Hunter. Always liked him. He runs hard, but I might be able to get him with my next pick, so. Washington has a lot of wide receiver talent to replace. We know Wisconsin's going to run the ball. A lot of good options here for my next pick. Again, here's a look at my team so far. 3 quarterbacks. I'm really happy with all these guys. Now, 2 of them can play every week because this is a super flex. You're going to start one every week, and then your hope is that your second one, your super flex position, is filled by a quarterback. Then you also have a flex position, which can be a running back, wide receiver, or tight end. You're going to want a wide receiver to be in there most weeks. So that's why I'm going a little heavier on wide receivers than running backs. All right. Washington has a lot of wide receivers to replace, so somebody's going to have to step up. So I'm going to count on that being Boston. They have some, they have to replace their coach, their coordinator, their wide receivers, Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk. They're all off to the NFL. Michael Penix Jr. is off to the NFL, so that's a complete rebuild. But there's still a little bit of talent there in Washington, so don't sleep on them. And it's going to count on Boston being the guy. Might try to get Caleb Jackson next, but we'll see if he's still there in 15 picks. I don't know. Should I try to get Chris Bell to go with my Louisville stack? Mentioned earlier, I like Hunter. I like Lovett. We'll keep it there for now. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. Yeah, it's time to add to that wide receiver room, hopefully. And there's not... Maybe I will take a tight end soon, but I might try to wait for somewhere down here. And when you start a player here, it just goes over here into your queue. You can see all the guys that I've clicked the star on, and just their ADP and their projected points totals. So just a handy tool to have if you're in a crunch and just need to see guys that you've liked. They're right over there. I generally try to do most of my work out of the main queue though here. Got some. Oh, there goes Hunter and Bell. So see, now you can see my queue is down to 3. Quick draw McGraw finally going away from the quarterbacks a little bit there. That's a good strategy. I got Trey Harris, right? Yeah. Okay, so maybe I will try to target the Ole Miss tight end. I'm not sure how to say his name, so I'm not going to try. Call him Caden. Only a couple weeks away from week 0. Now, week 0 does not count in Underdog's best ball college football. So it starts with week 1. So keep that in mind when you're drafting players. Week 0 does not count. Don't take my guy, Steve-O. Come on. Draft anybody else. You need a third quarterback. All right, he took the quarterback. Leave Caden to me. There we go. Thank you very much. You don't want to wait too long to get your first tight end. That's about as long as I was comfortable waiting. You only really want to be playing 1 each week. So with 20 rounds, I'm probably only going to draft 2, maybe 3 tight ends, depending on how the board works out. Just don't go crazy with tight ends. That's the least value position here. You want a good one, and then maybe a couple of value guys. Who's in my queue? Oh, the other 2 tight ends. Okay, so we're probably going to go away from that. 4 picks away. So we got a little run on tight ends here. 3 in a row. If nobody else wants Jalen Noel, I'll take him. Nope, there he goes. Trey again. I try to get Montrell Johnson. I liked what he did at Florida last year, and now that Etienne's gone, hopefully Billy Napier actually, gives one of his running backs a halfway decent workload. I hopefully don't have to worry about Dvorak here taking another running back. I mean, again, you got to get some quarterbacks in there, buddy. It's a super flex. This is crazy. Another tight end off the board. What are you going to do, Dvorak? Another running back. Wow. So he's got 7 running backs. That's way too much. I'm not even going to draft 7 running backs total in this draft. Coming down round 12. We're 16 picks away. Maybe if one of these tight ends, I'll take my second tight end. I don't know. C.J. Daniels, an LSU guy. I like Theo. I like Dorian. If I need a second tight end still when Ferguson's around, I'll take him there. There's some good value later in the board, so just make sure you are looking for it. The quarterback position dries up pretty fast. So I'm glad I have 3 right now, and I'm probably going to take 1 more in a later round. But yeah, and then Sterling here has 5. That's too many at this point because you can only maximum play 2 every week. Could see some more tight ends go off the board here because neither of these guys has a tight end yet. settle in. Got some baseball on the office TV here. Won't show you it though because I don't want to get sued. Don't have the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Just the implied oral consent. It's a Simpsons joke for all the 90s kids out there. So the board is tight end heavy, right? Oh, not anymore. So I'm looking at Luke or CJ here. Now you might notice that I'm a little heavy on SEC guys. A couple reasons for that. I am obviously got my start with Saturday Down South, so I'm a big SEC guy. And I just think that they're the best conference. You know, I think the Big Ten is right there, and I think I have that reflected in my team with Dylan Gabriel, with Travion Henderson. You know, so equal opportunity, but I do tend to lean a little bit heavy on the SEC. And we'll see if that pays off. Hopefully it does. You know, that $10,000 main prize would be pretty sweet. But if you finish in the top 10, I mean, you're taking home 4 figures. And if you finish in like the top, I think it's like 1,000, you're getting some sort of money. So, not bad. Let's see if I can look up that prize structure for y'all. We've got 2 picks away, so I'll look it up after my next pick. Hopefully CJ Daniels is still there. Yeah, so 10,000 for first, 5,000 for second, 3,000 for third, 4,000 for or 2,000 for fourth, 1,750 for fifth, 1,500 for sixth. Yeah, basically 10th place is 500. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. If you finish in the top 3,100, you at least make your money back. I'm gonna take CJ Daniels here. I like that to pair with Nussmeier. And you can enter up to 20 times. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if I'll enter 20 times. I think I've got 4 or 5 entries in this one at this point. But yeah. I mean, if you max out a $3 entry fee 20 times, that's only $60 that you're investing with the chance to win 10,000. So, pretty sweet deal if you ask me. Just we're about halfway full, so that's about 9,000 spots left open. So, you know, that's 2 weeks until the start of the season. So, get your drafts in is what I'm trying to say here. Because I'm still going to keep drafting. See, Chris Hilton is a guy that was much later. He was a sleeper for me. I was going to try to get him in like round 17 because that's about where his ADP was. So that was a big stretch by Trey there. But now that opens it up for me to take my second tight end, pair him with my first round quarterback. So we're all good. We're set with some great options on the Oregon offense. Now we'll look elsewhere. I was hoping to get Chris Hilton, but again, that was such a stretch there. So now our 14th round pick is number 165 overall. We're going to scroll down. Starts to get a little dicey around here. I like Jordan Hudson, SMU. I think SMU is a team that could challenge for a spot in the ACC title game this year. You know, if I had to put my money on it, I don't think that they would make it in year one, but I think they're a top half team for sure. All right, we've got 12 picks away. Let's take a look at my roster construction while we wait. I have 3 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. That's about where I want to be at this point. With 20 players, I'm probably gonna go. Let's say 4 quarterbacks. Let's say 6. Probably 4 quarterbacks, 6 running backs. So that's 10. And then I'll either go 7-3 or 8-2. I don't know. It depends on when I get down to those later rounds what the value is at tight end. See, it's just like Amari Knee-Black might be a good value pick later. I kind of like the West Virginia guy. Like other than that, there's just like Norfleet. I think could be a big sleeper. It's my Mizzou bias, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Quarterback, Will Rogers down here is a guy that I might try to target. Graham Mertz, I like. Let's see how here's the board as it stands right now, though. I don't really care for any of these quarterbacks coming up, so I'm gonna avoid them. I might try to snag Harbor there out of South Carolina. Drew Aller's interesting to me. He hasn't really shown much, but I think he has the potential to. Yep, and there he goes. So they were listening to me. All right. I think I'm looking at Nick Harbor here. Also like Jordan Hudson, though. There's just not a lot of running backs on the board here. Nathan Carter could be interesting. But I do need to start getting some running backs on the board. I might try to get him. I like Micah Bernard. We'll see. I've got 3 really good running backs though. So I'm really excited about Dylan Sampson, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to take Harbor. Four more picks. I don't know, maybe I will take a flyer on Carter here. Just gonna look up Michigan State's depth chart. Yeah, he's listed as the starter, so maybe I will take him just to get my 4th running back there. If Dvorak doesn't take a 7th or an 8th running back, just ridiculous. This guy needs a quarterback. Oh, I'm up. I'm going to go with Nathan Carter. Give him a shot. And we're 16 picks away. I might try to get Hankerson. Cam Coleman, I think, can have a big year at Auburn. Graham Mertz, I think, is undervalued at Florida. What's Colorado's depth chart? Is that guy their top? Not a huge Colorado guy this year, but we will see where he's at on the depth chart. It's listed as their second one, so I don't know. Don't like that. Try not to draft too many backups. This is about the range. This is still even a little early for where I was trying to get Chris Hilton for LSU, but he's already off the board for some reason. Let's see how old Bryce Miller's doing in my picks contest here. Oh, I guess the Dodgers game started too. So Jack Flaherty not off to a good start. Not looking good for 8 strikeouts for old Jack there. All right, back to business. Hopefully one of these 3 guys falls to me, even though we're 6 picks away. We'll see. Crazier things have happened. Really, if you're stretching more than like 12 picks in ADP, like it's not great. You want to try to stay, like, you don't have to only go by ADP, but you know, if you like a guy, just try to get him at value. You can take him a few picks early, but don't go like 3 rounds early. Talia needs a tight end here, but there's not really many options here. We'll see. All right, so we're 3 picks away. I've got 2 picks away now, so I'm guaranteed to get one of these guys. Hopefully it's Cam Coleman. I'm really high on Cam Coleman. I just think year 2 in the offense with Peyton Thorne and Auburn, good things. And if I get Cam Coleman, maybe I target Peyton Thorne as my last quarterback. Okay, so he took Hankerson. Ah, man. All right, I'm going with... Oh, I forgot about Mertz. I'm going to take Mertz. No, they have a... I can't. They have a really tough schedule down the stretch. Let's go Washington. We got a Washington wide receiver earlier, too. I like you, Graham Mertz. I just think that those last 5 weeks are historically difficult for Florida. So good luck with that, but I will not be having you on my team this year. Dvorak's going to take a chance on you, though, so good for Dvorak. So now, even though I'm done taking quarterbacks, like, I've got my 4. I'm still gonna keep it up. I'm not gonna only do this because I still just want to see. You can do whatever you want, like have the draft experience that you want. I like to see everybody at all times. 3 picks away, a good chance to get my 5th and probably final running back. This guy's an injury risk, but when he runs it, talent's there. Okay, so I'm going to take Micah Bernard. Just think that's a good value pick. Probably my last running back. Oh, sorry, Peyton Thorne. I would have picked you, but Cam Coleman didn't fall to me. The good thing about these drafts, like once you draft your team, Underdog puts your optimal lineup into your lineup every week. So you don't have to second guess your roster decisions or anything like that. Your lineup will be set for you. You'll have your 9 players in there and 11 players on the bench, and it's a great way to play fantasy football. And of course, that $10,000 grand prize is probably a little bit better than your NFL home fantasy leagues. So, Underdog has so many awesome. Look at this new one today, 50,000 in prizes over here for the transfer portal. That's a smaller one, only 2,200 entrants instead of 18,600. Like the Tailgate, NFL, you can find stuff for all different price points. $5 to $50 to $1,000 to, this is a new one today. Just a lot of fun stuff on Underdog. So again, promo code SOUTH when you sign up, and you'll get that $250 first time deposit match and a special pick. I'm liking this team. A lot, y'all. Need one more wide receiver. Maybe another tight end. We'll see. Let's see who's going to be up. Maybe I'll take Antonio Williams. Also like Zachary Franklin. I just love that Ole Miss offense. You just can't stop talking about it. Just going through and highlighting a few guys. Dylan Bell is a stud. Been looking into Brew McCoy a little bit. Coming off of an injury, I think just people have forgotten about him a little bit, and that's going to be a mistake. So, got a good queue here. Still 4 picks away for this pick, though. So we got 3 picks left. I got the 9th pick of the 18th round, the 4th pick of the 19th round, and then we're off to the final round. Still a lot of talent on the board. Arch Manning down here, 8.2 projected points, but people are taking him, I don't know. One Quinn Ewers injury, which you don't wish on anybody, but, he could end up getting a lot of playing time this year. This is what I mean. You're down here, you see, Northwestern guys, Nebraska guys, teams that aren't expected to be very good. Boston College was right there. Oh, I'm up. Got to pay attention here. I like Antonio Williams. I think he's got the chance to make a splash here. I'm going to take him. So now my roster construction is 4572. If Cole Taylor falls to me, I'll probably take a third tight end. If not, I don't know. I might take Jalen Knighton if he's still there too. Love that SMU offense. Take Donald Chaney Jr. Getting down to the wire here. 2 picks left. It's a pretty good value for Tyler Van Dyke. Let's see. Cole Taylor and Jalen Knighton are both still there. Maybe somebody will take one or the other to make this a little easier for me. Oh, there goes Taylor. So hopefully Dvorak doesn't take Jalen Knighton. Okay. I'm going to take Jalen Knighton. What's left in the tight end space? As you can see, not a lot. Who do I have in my queue? Might take Brew McCoy last. We'll see. I guess I should look up make sure Oregon and Ole Miss don't have the same off weeks. So Oregon is off September 21st and November 23rd. Ole Miss is off October 19th and November 16th. So my 2 tight ends have different off weeks, which is great. So I don't have to take a tight end here. Still 12 picks away though. Now, a lot of people, once they get down to these later rounds, they kind of just check out and put their team on auto draft, and I don't understand that, to be quite frank. If you're going to draft, be there for all the picks, unless, of course, life happens, but try to be there for all the picks. Otherwise, to me, you're kind of throwing away a chance to win. You're not being serious about it, so I try to be here for all of my picks. That's the way that I do it. If you really trust your rankings, because you can set them up before the draft, then do what's best for you. But yeah, I prefer to make all my picks, especially with $10,000 on the line. So I went Chaney. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to buy the Brew McCoy dip, because I think before he was injured last year, he was awesome. This guy has Talia has 9 wide receivers. Are they going to take a tight end at all, or are they just completely punting on the position? I don't understand that. I mean, at this point, you might as well just punt on it, because what value are you going to get from one tight end? I don't know. Bizarre draft strategy. So they took a tight end. Okay. Sure. To each their own. We're going to wrap this baby up here in just a second. Just a handful of picks left. One more for me. Hopefully it's Brew McCoy. I'll pair him with Dylan Sampson for that correlation, which will be great. And there we go. So just checking the board. No crazy values standing out there. We're going to take Brew. And that's that. So here's my team. Projected 30, again, don't pay too much attention to these. Got potential Heisman winner. The guy I think is a sleeper for a Heisman. 2 good offenses. Dylan Sampson, I'm high on. Good value in the running back room. A lot of depth in the wide receiver room, including, I think he could be set for a real bounce back. And a pair of good tight ends, and they don't overlap with their bye weeks. So I'm happy with this draft. Obviously we'll see how it plays out. We'll see who this last pick is here, but I'm happy with the way this one went. I'm going to be doing more. Like I said, I think this is maybe 4 or 5 entries for me, so I'm going to probably come a little bit closer to maxing out my 20 entries in this. It's only halfway full, so maybe we'll see you. Maybe we'll see you in the draft room. I'll just show you once Trey makes their pick here. Okay, so completed. Okay, that was my 4th tailgate entry. Here we go. Go to view full draft. So lots of stuff to play around with, but that's it for me, folks. Get in on the Underdog action while you still can. Promo code SOUTH, $250 first time deposit match, plus a special pick. I'll talk to you soon.